We're back. Welcome in. Pre-race poll. Shriners Children's 500 at Phoenix. Well, we finally got practice. Still don't know what to think. I'm going to need some real convincing here. So let's hear some good explanations. Hopefully we can find some good bets. But first, let's take it up a notch. Time for the poll. Today, changing it up. I don't have a lone tree. My wife is out getting them. Got back from Cabo late night last night. Stuck with a nude. So that's what we're going with. Vodka soda, collective clink. Taking a pull. All right. Hang on. What's kind of messaging? Oh, see, they took it down. Old Marky Mark. What up, everybody? Cheers. Good week to get Elliott. Good week to get Elliott to get on track. Okay. Well, let's get into it. Let's do the driver rundown here. We had practice, lots of time. Kind of nice. We didn't have A and B groups. Everyone just kind of on the same schedule. All right. Denny Hamlin. Okay, Denny. Well, I faded you with my best bet on the Stay Green podcast with Todd Furman. And you go out there and put it on the poll and make me look like an idiot. So I hate you for that. Toyotas looked much stronger than they have in the past. Denny had a great comment. Well, not great, just an interesting comment. That normally he's 0.3 off. Guys, we'll get to this. Normally Denny's 0.3 off, he says, week to week heading into race day or whatever it may be. And now he's only 1/10 off, so that must bode well for him. Okay, here's my thoughts on old Denny Hamlin. Denny is dangerous anytime he's on the pole. I do not think he has a top 5 race car. That's what I don't think he has a top 5 race car. I think with as hard as it'll be to pass today, and just Denny being Denny, he's going to be up there the whole day. I just don't think he's a top 5 race car. If we get into 30, 40, 50 lap runs. Oh, Connor, glad we brought this up. Let's just get this out of the way right now. If someone makes a mistake, your day is over. Are we all clear? Are we all clear on that? If you make a mistake today, as hard as it is to pass, your day is over. You're done. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate that. I just, if you make a mistake, it's so hard to pass that even if you have a great race car, I don't think great race cars are going to move to the front until, I don't know, 25, 30 laps into a run. Otherwise, there's a lot of guys that are fast, short run, and then everyone's going to kind of fall off uniform. But there's maybe a few guys that actually kind of stood out long run. Denny, yes, he can win. Now, let's move on to Ty Gibbs. Old Ty. I don't trust him. Who trusts Ty? I don't trust him yet. I think he was a great qualifying, but I don't think Ty gets it. I just don't think Ty gets it done. He had a little bit too much fall off, kind of really bad fall off after like 10 laps. And only 1 or 2 adjustments, and then didn't really get a long run. I would have liked to see Ty Gibbs get out there and spend more time out on the racetrack. I'd have nothing on or against him. I only made 1 bet today, and it was just a bad line. So I'm kind of risk averse right now. Man, I'm not a Ty guy. I'm just not Ty today. I don't think he can get it done. I wouldn't be shocked if he finished like 13th or 14th. Chase Elliott. Well, Chase, you look good in practice, but you didn't show me that much. You ran, 15 laps, pitted, then you came out, made an adjustment, pitted. Nothing phenomenal, but kind of solid, which is kind of Chase of the old. Chase is like one of those guys in the past I would have loved. Chase would have been a great pick if this was 2 years ago. I don't see it out of him yet. Do I think he'll just hang around the top 10 all day? Yes. I don't think he's going to make any passes. I don't expect him to go up there and, pass Denny Hamlin for the lead after 20 laps. I don't see that happening. Eric Jones. Well, Eric, you were really fast in the short run and fell off a lot on the long run. Pretty standard stuff for you here. I have nothing on nor, like I said, I don't have much out today at this point. Eric, I anticipate him falling off a lot. And when it happens, when your fall off starts at this track, it does not stop. You could go from running top 5 to losing 1, 2, 3 spots, and then it's just hang on for dear life. You just need a caution. Just hang on because it's not going to stop. And I could see that with Eric Jones today. I think that's a definite possibility. William Byron. Well, William, this is the worst you've looked in a while. But the guy that makes the least amount of mistakes today probably wins the race. Who makes the least amount of mistakes? Well, William Byron does. It's not even close. He's made the least amount of mistakes for the last 2 years. But did not look that strong. Man, this race is tough. I wouldn't be shocked if William Byron won the race. Would you? Who'd be shocked? I wouldn't be shocked if William Byron won. Hard to bet against him, though. I'll tell you that right now. You can't bet against him because it's just he who makes the least amount of mistakes. Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick was really fast in the short run and then fell off a little bit. I still anticipate Tyler Reddick being strong, not as strong as last week. Not as strong as last week. I mean, I don't know. I don't even like Reddick at this track for whatever reason. He had a good finish last spring, but that was 4 tires, and he kind of pushed Byron to the win. I don't love it. Not a fan of. I mean, gosh, good on the short run. The Toyotas were fast. I don't know. I don't know. And the other thing too. So a few things about Phoenix, and I talked about this with Derek. I talk to a few people every day, like kind of before races. Obviously, always talking to Todd. Talk with Highline Betting. Highline Betting. Zach had the best comment. Well, the best car probably isn't going to win, so we'll lose money. That's a terrible way to start your day if you bet for a living. If you just know that just a car could just take 2 tires or stay out or just make no mistakes, whether they're a top 5 car or not, they could still win the race. Think about that. That's crazy. I think that was the comment of the day. Talked to Ryan Stevens. He's got a few positions that I think are decent. Always talk to Derek. This is just a tough one. It's a tough one, and I don't know where Reddick falls. I probably 10th place today. 10th? Let's see. Noah Gragson. Well, that was a really good qualifying out of him. Now, this is not his best track, in my opinion. I usually like him at really high tire wear, like highline tracks. I don't see him having the same run he had last week. I think, yes, he qualified better, but last week, remember when he qualified so deep because he was the first car to go, and there was like a sandstorm on the end. Who we picking? Gosh, everyone just has so many questions already. Let me get through the rundown here, and then I'll answer all the questions. Noah Gragson, I don't think he's going to be the best SHR car like I thought last week. I think there's actually a longer shot that I think will be the best SHR car if we get long green flag runs. I just don't trust Noah. I don't know. It's not going to be the same. I don't think we'll see the same kind of thing as we did last week with him. Chase Briscoe. Here's the thing with Chase. Did not look good in practice, but he never does here. And he just kind of maintains his track position as good as anyone. So I anticipate Chase Briscoe with a very average race car to kind of stay in the top 10 all day. Now, you make one mistake, just like anybody. You make one mistake, you're gone. You're never going to make it back into the front. I don't think Chase Briscoe is going to drive past anybody, but I certainly think he could maintain his track position. That's what I do think. Yes, Big Ross, we agree multiple times over and over again. I don't think that's a bad bet at all. I haven't played anything. I only played one matchup so far. Where are we at? Chase Briscoe, I don't see him pass anybody. Chase Briscoe is not going to drive to the lead, but I think he can maintain, if that makes sense. Michael McDowell, I don't know. I feel like he kind of bullied his way to a good start here. He'll probably hang around. He's going to be a lot like Chase Briscoe, hard to pass, but I don't think he's going to drive past anybody. Yes, I like him over Gragson because I feel like Gragson will make more mistakes, and Michael McDowell doesn't make a ton of mistakes. So that's where I would say there's a little bit of an advantage with Michael McDowell over Noah Gragson. Carson Osabar, he's just fast. He's just fast all the time, on one lap stuff. Now, can you trust him over the course of a race? Probably not. Probably not. But, man, if there's anyone that just is going to be fast all year, I think it's Carson Osabar. He just gets speed. Now, does he actually last? I don't know. I don't know if he can last. Truex. Okay. I kind of like Truex. I kind of like Truex. He was solid over the long run. He runs well here. He was decent in the fall for not being in the playoffs or the championship four. I am not opposed to some Truex action. Yeah, I'm not opposed to Truex. I actually kind of like Truex today. He's kind of like, I don't think he's a top 4 car, but he's kind of right there. He's kind of right there. This is where I think this 11 to 18. I think there's some guys here. Truex top Toyota, man. Okay, so I don't know that Truex top Toyota. Here's why: you have Denny Hamlin, who's got the top best pit stall, and then you have someone else that's the best Toyota. I'll get to that in a second. I think Ross Chastain is really good. I think I think that he's going to be strong, and you have to be aggressive. You have to make sure. No, don't take Gibbs over Truex. No. If anything, it's Truex over Gibbs. I'm not sure the price you're talking about, but yeah. Ross Chastain, you have to be aggressive on restarts. Think about if you lose 2 or 3 spots on a restart. Like, it's going to take you 50 laps to get that back. So I like guys that are aggressive on restarts. Is there anybody more aggressive? Maybe Logano, maybe on restarts. Ross Chastain, I think Chastain's going to be good. It's going to take time. The fact he was able to win this race in the fall when he was not a championship contender says a lot. That's a fast car. The fastest car is Chris Bell. It's without question. This is no secret. He was fastest in all the little averages, whatever. Do you trust Chris Bell and not make a mistake? When was the last time Chris Bell ran a clean race? And when was the last time Chris Bell was the fastest car at a track? Go ahead. I'll wait. We've seen this out of Chris Bell in the past. I picked him to win probably 5 races last year, and he wasn't the best car in any one of them. But he's the best car today, without question. I just don't trust him. I don't trust him. Byron versus Chastain, Bell versus Reddick. Man, I'll get all these questions. Wait till the questions at the end, and I'll just rapid fire. I want to get through all of the drivers here. I think Chris Bell's the best. Do I trust him? No, but he's also overvalued. I just can't imagine that you put Chris Bell. You can't have him 6.5, 7 to 1. He just makes too many mistakes. Plus, he's starting 13th. What's he gonna? When is he gonna drive to the lead? It's gonna take a while for him to get there. Forever. Might be stage 2. So wait to bet him live. Chris Buescher. Well, RFK unloaded like donkeys, but they got it better. The issue I saw with Chris Buescher is he had to pit every 5 or 6 laps. That is typically indicative of not a happy driver in practice. So I'm not high on Chris Buescher, but I do think kind of as a track changes, we could see him move up a little bit. I'm higher on Brad than I am on Chris Buescher. When we see track changes, we saw everyone, we talked about it, or Harvick talked about it in practice. You want to be really good on the bottom, and you're talking about your entry. Make sure you stay right on the bottom. But we've seen this before in 1 and 2, which used to be 3 and 4. Guys kind of diamonding that corner, kind of really getting high and wide, and actually making that backstretch really long. There's some potential for that later in this race or in long green flag runs for someone to kind of figure something out on the high line. Then all of a sudden, everyone will go up there. And you could kind of win this race on the long run, maybe not on the bottom. Not everyone can Harvick, okay? Harvick will keep 4 tires under that yellow line in 1 and 2. I don't think everyone can do that here, but I do think everyone can kind of run a higher line if need be, if the track widens out. It's going to be warmer. There's going to be a lot of rubber put down. We're going to see, the longest run we saw in practice was, 30 laps. We're going to see 50, 60 laps runs today. I think that this race, we could see someone kind of crazy win, but I don't know. I think Buescher could get better. Daniel Suarez, not fast, but said he was happy with his race car. That to me is the weirdest thing ever. Like, looking at his lap times, you're like, oh, he's not that good. And then you hear his interview, and he's like, oh, I'm great. I'm very comfortable in my race car. And I have no idea what to think. I mean, I've talked to people that know him and said, hey, as long as his car is comfortable, he'll have a good car. Well, the stopwatch doesn't really lie, but if a driver is comfortable with the handling, hang on, taking a pull. That's all you want, right? When you leave practice, do you want to be fast on the stopwatch, or do you want your driver to say, hey, I have a good car? I don't know. I think it depends on driver to driver. There's certain drivers where it's like, hey, I want to be fast on the stopwatch. And there's other drivers like, hey, I'm comfortable with the handling. I can go up there and pass cars and potentially win this race. I don't know how I feel about Suarez. If anything, I like to fade him more than I like him. The stopwatch doesn't lie. I would rather fade him than bet on him. Ryan Blaney. Well, Ryan, you unloaded like a dump truck, but you kind of figured it out. I thought Ryan Blaney towards the end of practice was one of the top 4 cars. Is that my bias showing? Because I bet him to be Denny Hamlin? Someone help me. Big Ross, Derek, Brian. I don't know. I don't know if my bias is showing. This is something I fight all the time. Am I searching for Blaney to be good? Slick racing conditions. Yeah, I agree. I thought Blaney was not a top 3 car, but maybe a 4th best car. Ray, you saw the same thing. But here's the thing: does he just figure it out? Does he figure it out, and all of a sudden he's going to be really good? Yeah, Blaney top 5, not optimistic for a win. Unbiased Wormy. Okay, I mean, hey, I fight these biases as much as anybody, so this is why I do it. You know, there's a lot of people in here right now that can offer their opinion and that watch this show. In my opinion, the best pre-race show that there is. I don't know. I think Blaney's going to be pretty good. I think he's going to be a guy where it's like, hey, Blaney's up 4 or 5 spots to start the race, adjust in the car, make no mistakes, and kind of, practice and qualifying last fall. I'll say this, Big Ross, I thought he looked better in the fall last year than he did this year. That's just my take. I think Ryan Blaney's be decent. Kyle Larson, a lot of fall off early, but again, like Ryan Blaney, little adjustability in that car. Pretty damn good in the long run. And by the way, if all of a sudden this track changes, who do you want searching for a line? Let's just say that the track is completely different. It's way hotter and no one's running the bottom and people are searching. Who do you want? You want Kyle Larson. And by the way, he's 10-1. Like if think about that. Like if you just said, I want Kyle Larson at a non-super speedway race and he's 10-1, I go, yeah, that's probably a good bet. Brad Keselowski. Oh, man. I like Brad. Oh, I like Brad. But he's got a long way to go, and he really let me down last week. Really let me down. I thought he was going to be much better. That 13th place finish was absolutely stolen. I think his average running spot was like 20th. He was not as good as he made. Like, his finish was way better than his car. His car was not good, no speed. Again, unloaded poorly, had a lot of fall off, go in, make adjustments, get the car a little better, go in, make more adjustments, and then that was pretty good. Top 5 car? I think he's a top 5 car, but can you get there? These guys that are in 17th, 18th, anywhere from like 12th to 18th, from Chastain to Brad. Do you have to steal track position at some point? You have to go out and make an attempt to steal a little bit, right? I don't think you can just drive to the front. I don't think Brad Keselowski is going to drive to the front. You're going to have to take 2 tires at some point. And can you hang on? If you can't use strategy, I don't know that any car is good enough to drive from 18th. I mean, Chris Bell's really good. I don't know that he could drive to the front from 18th. The cars are just too tightly packed here. They're very similar. John Hunter Nemechek. Well, you were really good in practice. I sent a text. I said the 42 is good. Someone asked about that earlier. I don't think he was that bad. Now, a little bit of fall off, a lot like his teammate. Maybe they just unloaded fast or good in short run. They need to work on that long run. He's a hard guy to trust. I don't know. And he might be a good practicer. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Zach. Long practice, cars get closer. That's exactly right. Okay, so Zach, I'm going to add to that. I think that the top teams get closer, but they separate themselves from the rest. So I agree. The top teams get closer in long practice, but they definitely separate themselves from the have and the have-nots, which is good. But I think that it's kind of obvious at a certain point who's good and who's not. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., not a good place for him. He kind of burned me last week. Okay, Eric Jones. I would not bet Eric Jones top 10 at even money. No. I would not do that. I don't like that at all. Ricky Stenhouse. I think Ricky's going to struggle. At poor qualifying. He actually looked decent last week, and he was better than I thought he was going to be. I know that I lost that McDowell matchup. McDowell stayed out, but I thought that they were pretty kind of even cars. I even thought that Stenhouse maybe was a little bit better. He's not going to be as good this week. I don't see a top 20 run out of Ricky Stenhouse. I just don't do. Daniel Hemrick, great qualifying. I got no feel on this guy other than he's not very good. How's that? Not a fan. Bubba Wallace. Wow, shockingly bad qualifying. Shockingly bad. Bubba was actually good. Let's unpack Bubba being good and starting 22nd. Bubba's good. But Bubba starting 22nd, I mean, you can't make mistakes, for one. And you got to be really patient. You got to be really patient. Not Bubba's thing. Bubba's not a patient guy. He wants to get to the front right away. I think he's got to be pretty unhappy with the way he qualified relative to some of these other Toyotas. If you look at Denny Hamlin, Ty Gibbs, Tyler Reddick, those guys are up there. Yeah, Bubba 2022 vibes. I agree. Oh, no, we talked about Larson. I think he's going to be good. I like Larson. Bubba 2022 vibes. Same thing. This was kind of a revert back to the old Bubba. Yes, if things go well for him, there's a lot of value on him from the betting market. I think but I just don't know if he can race his way up there. Can Bubba race his way up there? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. When Bubba qualifies well, he's up front all day. Yeah, he can go out there and win a race. I don't think he can start deep and then have a flawless race and be methodical. I don't think that that's his thing. Opposite, Joey Logano. That's a guy that could do that. Joey's also a guy that can, man, he's got Paul Wolf up there. I saw it in the comments. You can't bet against Paul Wolf and Joey Logano. I agree. I also thought he was going to be a lot better last week, and he wasn't. His lap times had a little bit of fall off. Did he get better? Yeah, he got a little better. He's just a tough one. Logano's tough to handicap. Sometimes I think he's going to be great and he's trash, and other times I think he's going to be good and he's. Yeah, thanks. Hey, Dave, you set that up. I'd love it. Let's see. Where are we at? Joey Logano. Harrison Burton. I mean, man, not good. Don't like Harrison Burton. I think the only time you can really bet on him or against him is against Todd Gilliland, another guy that really struggled. Not a Gilliland guy today either. Alex Bowman. He'll be methodical. This is one of those things where I feel like, I don't know that he's a top 10 car, but it's one of those things where at the end of the day, you're looking at the results and it's like, Alex Bowman finished 12th. We didn't hear his name all day long. Didn't make mistakes, just kind of works his way out methodically. I don't know there's value on him from a betting perspective, but I think he's going to be consistent. I think he can be consistent, but I don't know. This is a tough one. Derek Krause, trash. Ryan Preece. I mean, lots of fall off. Not probably one of the worst. Yeah, yeah, exactly. 2 tires late and Bowman wins. Yeah, that's a thing. That's the thing. If there's a caution with, let's say 35 or 40 to go, are you taking 4 or 2? Yeah, Ray, I do think sit and watch Find Value Live. If let's say 37 to go when they go green, you taking 4 or 2? If it's been 30 laps before that, 30 laps, or let's just cut it in half. 35 laps and 35 laps, 70 laps to go in the race. You have 35 lap tires, and there's 35 to go in the race. You taking 4 tires or 2? If there's no cautions, you got to take 4. If there is a caution, you got to take 2. Best SHR car is not Ryan Preece. I think he might be the worst. Yeah, you have to be a top 3. Yeah, I agree. Zach, I agree. Ryan Preece is not the best SHR car. Zane Smith. Well, Zane, you fell off a lot, and then you didn't make adjustments to make your car better. I don't like it. I don't like Zane. I don't know what you can really bet on him. It's weird when I don't know who's going to win, and I don't get that involved. Like, I haven't made any real bets, so I just can't. I just don't see a lot of bets out there. I just don't. Sometimes you just got to know when to pump the brakes a little bit. Todd Gilliland, man, I thought after the first couple weeks, I thought he was going to be a lot better than he was. Like last week and this week, not good. And he's matched up against, who's he matched up against? Harrison Burton. Boy, that's just going to be a battle of the sucks. I just don't think. I would not fade Truex. I would not fade Truex. Yeah, Gillen stinks here. Austin Dillon. I did not think a car could unload so slowly in my life. He was so slow. He didn't even crack the 20. He didn't crack the 28-second mark. What? Austin Dillon was bad, qualified bad. Ugh. Here's the thing. When a car is as bad as Austin Dillon's, okay, he's barely a lead lap car, if that. Maybe not even a lead lap car. Why would he not just gamble on every pit stop and then steal track position? He can't do any worse. He's a 27th place car. If I'm that team, I'm just taking 2 tires every time. Austin Dillon or 20. Well, if he's a 3-legged donkey like Denny Hamlin called himself 2 years ago at Richmond, he won the race. I think if you're Austin Dillon, he's so bad, he's hard to bet against. Does that make sense? Because this team has no choice but to just take 2 tires or stay out or whatever. Like, he can't be worse than if he's staying on the track and being conservative. Does that make sense? Ah, man, so slow. Yeah, his teammate, Kyle Busch. Now, he wasn't as bad as his teammate, but nobody was, right? I mean, his teammate was like Derek Kraus. Mitch, I'll get to that in a second here, and then I'll start trying to answer questions. How many laps until leaders catch the back half of the field? I don't know. Leaders catch the back half of the field. 35 laps, 40 laps. There'd be about a second faster, maybe more. Connor, I don't hate that. Kyle Busch was not good. I think he was better than his teammate. And here's the thing. If Kyle, let's say there's a caution with 22 laps in the race, Kyle Busch stays out and steals all that track position. I think he can stay up there all day. Where he's going to be struggling is he's going to be battling a terrible pit stall all day long. So I don't know if he can stay up like consistently if there's a lot of pit stops. That would be really hard. I think he might make a mistake. But if he just stays out, I think, yeah, he's not going to be great, but he could maintain track position. He's one of those guys. He can maintain track position. Kaz Grala, we don't need to talk about. Justin Haley, not going to talk about. Austin Cindric just fell off. How is he such a favorite over people? I don't understand that. I was talking to Todd about this morning. Like, how is Austin Cindric like minus 170 on anyone? He's not good here. Long run, he falls off. By the way, newsflash, Austin Cindric will fall off in a long run. And if he loses track position, he ain't getting it back. Corey LaJoie, I don't think we're going to see what we saw to him last week. I think that was pretty good run on old Corey LaJoie. A little bit of fall off, just not the short run speed that we saw to him last week. Corey was able to kind of stay up there he had short run speed. He would fall off a little bit in the long run, and his comments were, "Oh, I got raced too hard." Well, that's the front of the pack. That's how hard they race every single week. Josh Berry, obviously a mistake in qualifying. I think he's going to be decent. Doesn't have a lot of short run speed, and that scares the hell out of me because if you don't have short run speed, you have no time to make sure you stay on the lead lap. If Josh Berry can survive the first run, and we get so he needs to thread the needle. We need a long green flag run for Josh Berry to be good, and he also needs to stay on the lead lap. I don't know that you can have both of those things. I I don't hate Josh Berry. Do I pick him to be top SHR car? I did this last week, the top SHR car. I got it right with Gregson. I don't know if that was lucky or not. I thought Gregson was decent. I think Josh Berry's going to be decent long run. I don't know if he can stay on the lead lap. It's hard to predict. Prediction's only hard when it's about the future. And I can't tell you when those cautions are coming. If there's just a bunch of quick cautions, you're going to have all sorts of stuff. This could be a great live betting race, or this could be the most boring race I've ever watched. Somewhere between those two things. But all right, let me see some questions, and I'll just kind of rapid fire these things. Grid position of winner, -105. I think that the grid position will be 10 through 19. Booking top SHR car. I don't know. Barry +190 versus Gregson. Man, it's probably properly priced. Briscoe over Buscher. No, I like Buscher over Briscoe. If Briscoe loses track position, I think that Buscher will be better long run. Like just it consistently. If Briscoe loses track position, I know, I see that. 371 people in here. That's awesome. I think, yeah, what other questions we got? Truex top Toyota +850. Okay, but if he's top Toyota, doesn't he win the race? Can we get a better price on him? If you're going to tell me that Truex is top Toyota, what is his? Doesn't he win the race? I guess I would split it. I would take him top Toyota and win. If you're going to beat Denny Hamlin and Chris Bell and Tyler Reddick, you got a damn good shot at winning the race. So I would say I would split that, so that way you're getting a better payout. Fade Busch in matchups. Yeah. Yeah. I like that Truex -150 over him. This is a place where there's a really good chance that Kyle Busch is just the first caution out of the race first. I wish you could bet that. First to retire, I would bet Kyle Busch. He's going to need to be really patient, something he's terrible at. Oh, thumbs up. He's going to be really patient, and he can't do that. You don't even need to say anything else. Kyle Busch, you need to be patient. Well, he can't do it. He just can't do it. I think Kyle Busch is first to retire. Is Truex a better buy for outright or matchups? I mean, it depends on the price and who. That's a tough question for me to ask or to answer. Yeah, I've seen some 16 Chastain top Chevy. I don't hate that. I don't hate Chastain top Chevy. I don't think Byron practice is good as him. I don't think Chase is going to stay up there all day. I just don't see. I think Chastain will pass cars. Yeah, I also think, yeah, I do. I think that Chase will step there. Here's the thing. If he ever loses track position, I don't think he'd drive his way back up. I don't think Chase Elliott's going to drive through the field. Okay, here are the cars let's talk about this. Here are the cars that I think can drive through the field. I think Truex on the tail end of those guys that can drive through the field. Ross Chastain can. Chris Bell can. Ryan Blaney can. Kyle Larson can. Maybe Keselowski. Maybe. He'd be outside of Truex on that. Those are the guys that I think can drive through the field. So if they do make a mistake early, they can recover. Chase on Gibbs. Do you trust Chase, Connor? I don't know that I trust Chase. Winning manufacturer. I don't know. This is just one. I wish I had more opinions. Yeah, I think he's 7 to 10 all day. But if he does, if Chase ever falls back, I don't see him driving back through the field. I just don't see it happening. What else we got? Can Joey drive through the field? If Joey catches a setup or his car, they made adjustments overnight, yeah, Joey can. I think Joey has a better chance of just stealing track position somewhere and staying up. Gibbs top 5. Okay. Gibbs top 5 at 225 or winner, and it's 19,843. Jay, this is a good question. To me, you are betting Ty Gibbs against Truex, and you're getting him at +220. I think that's better than top 5. I don't think he can finish in the top 5. So I think that his group is better. Why do I feel like Keselowski's going to win and Wormy's going to do a post six-figure victory? Well, that would be nice. I don't. He's gonna have to steal track position. I don't know. I don't know if he can. Ross's speed really fell off on long run practice. Yeah, but he battled back. Bet the board eyeing any other plays. We're gonna try to find something. I don't know though. It's hard. This is a tough one, man. I'm excited for it. Here's what I hope happens. I hope that people are running multiple grooves in 1 and 2. To me, that's a successful race. And we see over the course of a green flag run, 2.5 seconds fall off. That would be ideal. We do that, we're good. Yeah, Ross before qualifying changed 3 springs. Yeah, there are a lot of changes were made. So I don't know. I think Ross can make passes. Ross, Larson, Bell, Truex, Blaney, maybe Keselowski. Those are the guys I think they can make passes. Stage 1, Gibbs over Jones. Ooh. Mitch, I kind of like that. I don't think that's a bad bet. I think that Jones is going to fall off. I don't think Gibbs is going to fall off as much. I could see it happening though. I think they could both be sliding. I think they could both be losing spots. I just think that Gibbs will lose them at a lower rate than Eric Jones. If that makes sense. DFS advice. I'm just not good. I would tune into Ryan Stevens or at wintherace.info. Like that's where I would. They're better at that. I'm not. I can answer a specific question about drivers, but I can't tell you how to build a lineup. I'm not quite there yet. I'm just too stupid, I guess, to know that. Upside to legacy. More upside. Just based on price, there's more upside to John Hunter Nemechek than there is Eric Jones. That's what I would say. Any other questions about anything? I just hope we see a 19 plus 420 against 1, 9, and 20. Okay, Mitch, here's the thing. I think you're getting the third best car at plus 420. I don't like that. You're getting the third best car potentially. And I think that the 1 could be a lot better. The 20 is better. And the 9 could just maintain track position just because they do a good job. I got to pick my winner. Damn it, Kyle. I got to pick a winner. Okay. My winner is not going to be Bell. Gosh. It's going to be between Larson. Oh, man. Larson, Blaney. I am going to pick. I'm not going to say Truex. I got to pick Larson. And I said Larson last week wasn't going to be as good as he was. I don't think he was, but I thought Reddick was a little better. Here's why I'm picking Larson, because I think the explanation is more important than the pick itself. They got that car a lot better. They were heading in the right direction. Ian. They were heading in the right direction. They got that car better. If this track changes up a little bit and you have to start searching for lines, I think I want my car in Larson's hands. Now, Bell is not that far off. Where the difference comes between Bell and Larson is Larson makes less mistakes early in the race. Now, my wife calls him the bed shitter because I've seen him do some stupid things late in a race. Bell, there's a chance that Bell isn't even like in this race. Like he could just kind of, I don't know, they have an air pressure thing last week, and Bell can disappear even though he looks good in practice. When's the last time Larson disappeared in a race? Now, can he make mistakes? Absolutely. He doesn't just disappear, though. That's why I'm going Larson. Yeah, Reddick. I think Reddick could be good. Bell's cursed kind of everywhere. That's my pick. Larson. I don't know. That's all I got. Anything else before I go? Belda, yeah. Got to get paid on Larson. Can't take him. Okay, Connor, great point. Great point. You have to get paid on Larson. So take him to win. I don't like him in matchups. I think that the best chance to make money is now. I still think he runs well, though. I mean, I think he beats Denny Hamlin. I don't know. Yeah, I'm a homer. Scottsdale. I don't live in Scottsdale anymore, though, Brian. I live in Vancouver. Yeah, that's what I think. That's my favorite. What do you mean that's my favorite? Byron says cars completely different from the fall, but his car wasn't good in the fall. Alexander, what do you mean? Is that my favorite? My favorite. I just think he's my pick to win. I don't plus 120 versus Denny. I know. I can't fade Denny. Denny is a really tough guy to fade. I have one bet. I have Blaney over Hamlin. It doesn't look great. I still think he probably gets it done if he can ever get the track position. I played one matchup where it was just a bad line. Other than that, I'm going to bet live. That would be my advice. If you're at all the current prices, I just don't know if there's that much value out there. But if you have not played Blaney over Hamlin, I probably wouldn't play it. My favorite outright yes is Larson at 10-1. I know he's 10 at least at Superbook. I don't like him at 7. Yeah, we'll know a lot in the first 30 laps, but I think from laps 30 to how long is the first stage? Larson's 12-1 at Westgate. I like that. 11-1 at Circa. I think we'll know. How long is the first stage? 60 laps? Jeez. I mean, I hope it goes green. Because we're going to learn a lot in the first 30 laps. And we're going to learn a shit ton from lap 31 to 60 if it stays green. I don't think it will. But I think you could see things change up massively. I think we'll know. I hope it stays green. We'll have a really good idea. You have a really good idea after lap 30, after lap 40. You'll start to know who the comers and goers are. Now, does that even matter? Because we might not see that long of a stint again. I don't know. This is a tough one. All right, everybody. Good luck. Good luck. One final taking a poll. Thanks for everybody that joined, man. 435 people in here. That's awesome. Hopefully we can get up to 1,000. Let's get 1,000 people in here next week. All right. Cheers.